Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of the Fantasy Football Busters podcast. We were recording this on a Thursday, September 22nd. Thank you for being with us. My name's Eric. The gentleman over there that is not showing his face yet, his name is Will. If you were with us last week, you know why he isn't showing his face. But if you weren't, I'll explain it. So every week we do a start-sit video, which we are doing again right now. Um, and we do it for you guys, hopefully to help you guys out in making decisions in your lineup every week. Quick aside, if you do find this useful, informational, whatever, please drop us a like, subscribe, all that stuff would help us out a lot. Also, throw in the comments some of your sit starts. We would love to help you guys out. Much appreciated. Back to my explanation, we also want to spice it up and make it fun for us. And so we make it kind of a competition every week, and whoever gets the most right wins. Whoever loses has to wear something silly, a costume, a mask, a hat, whatever it is. We don't really have any rules. It's just got to be funny. So, without further ado, I haven't seen it yet. You guys are going to see it with me for the first time. I'm going to give Will a little bit of a drum roll. See what you got.
What's up,
Oh,
motherfuckers? How y'all whippersnappers doing?
oh my God. You're, how old are you now?
Shit, like 28?
The fuck? Can you see through that shit?
Kinda. My right eye is pretty closed. My left eye is kinda open. Everything's a little blurry.
Love it. I gotta keep winning because you are killing it with these costumes right now.
Bro, I gotta win one of these, right? I
I
can't,
think so. It's only been 2 weeks. It's still very early. A lot of ball left.
I can't keep losing every week, man. Damn.
I will say last week it was pretty decisive. I think all of the ones that we disagreed on, I got right.
Yeah, I went 0 for 3. So don't listen to me, guys, so far. Listen to Eric.
All right. So, like I said, we're doing week three sit starts. I hope this helps you guys out. Will, since you did lose again, I will let you decide. Would you like to start us off, or shall I?
I'll start us off, I guess.
Okay.
I guess. So just starting it off, we got the QB position that we're gonna be starting off with. We got Russell Wilson against San Francisco or Derek Carr versus the Tennessee Titans. And me personally, I'm going Derek Carr. You know,
Seriously, bro. Your lips are not moving. Oh man, all right. Sorry.
my
We
bad,
got to get to the show. I'll let you know. You do your thing.
my bad, dog. I'm doing my best to articulate. But I'm going Derek Carr against the Tennessee Titans. They just haven't really looked like a football team yet to me, to be honest with you. And Russell has been severely hampered so far in this Denver offense. I think, as you said yesterday, Nathaniel, he ain't hacking it. He's
Yeah, he's
just
just not getting it done.
he's just not quite getting it done. And until I see some different usage and play calling from the Denver Broncos, I can't go with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. This one, it was kind of close for me. As much as I think Nathaniel Hackett has been holding them back, and as poorly as Russell Wilson has played so far this season, I feel like there's also been a certain level of unluckiness. A bunch of touchdowns that have been called back for that offense and stuff like that that would have gotten them rolling, would have gotten them in a better groove. So I wanted to go with Russell Wilson here, but I feel like San Francisco, their defense is going to be probably the best that they've faced so far through the first 3 weeks of the season. And like you said, Tennessee just looks like crap. So I agree. I'm going to go Derek Carr.
Hell yeah.
Um, so we stay in the QB position. For the next one, we got Tom Brady versus Green Bay or Jared Goff versus Minnesota. Um, this one is actually, it might be the easiest one on the list for me, and it feels kind of crazy because it's disrespectful to talk bad about the GOAT, but I'm going Jared Goff.
Oh,
Tom Brady has looked bad. Some of it his fault, some of it just because he's lacking a lot of weapons. Chris Godwin hasn't been in the lineup. Mike Evans is now suspended. Julio Jones has been hurt. Russell Gage is still kind of dealing with an injury. He's going to play, but he's got, Russell Gage, Rashad Perriman, uh, they brought in Cole Beasley off the street. We'll see if he gets activated. That's who he's going to be throwing to. So it's looking rough. Green Bay's secondary hasn't been quite as good as we expected, but they're still decent. Jared Goff has actually looked pretty good. And I think Detroit's offense has been moving the ball really well. They're going up against Minnesota, whose defense is clearly susceptible to giving up a lot of points. I think it's going to be a shootout between the Lions and Minnesota this week. So I'm going to give the edge to Jared Goff.
Yeah, I'm also going with Jared Goff just because, to follow the same sentiment I had in the preseason going into this season. Jared Goff really isn't that bad in terms of like a quarterback. Like in terms of the really bad quarterbacks are a step below Jared Goff, which isn't to say Jared Goff is good by any means, but at the same time, with Detroit and the way they're running this offense, they've been getting it done with Jared Goff. They haven't needed much more. And this has been a high-scoring team. They've just been doing well all around. And like you said, Tom Brady, he's been struggling a little bit. He's lost a lot of his major weapons. It's going to be him and Leonard Fournette out there and Cole Beasley, and that's about it. Plus, Tom Brady, every Wednesday, he's got his marriage counseling, so I'm sure roll into the weekend, he's still kind of processing all of that. So that's probably a lot, too.
Yeah. Did you hear that he actually skipped it this week? He was at practice on Wednesday. Giselle's pissed.
Yeah, she's definitely pissed the fuck off. So, I think with some extra chastising, you got to factor in Giselle a little bit, too. I think your Jared Goff's going to come out on top this week.
Yeah. I like it.
Going into the running back position, we got Darrell Henderson versus Arizona or Cam Akers versus Arizona.
Yeah.
As we saw last week, Cam Akers kind of got an uptick in usage.
I got the numbers in front of me if you want me to read them off to you.
Yeah, let's hear the numbers.
So, obviously, week one, Darrell Henderson was the clear lead back. His usage was pretty elite for the running back position in week one, but then they came into week two. He was still getting the lion's share, well, not the lion's share, but the majority of the snaps. But when it came to like actual opportunities, Darrell Henderson had 10 carries to Cam Akers 15. And Darrell Henderson, I don't believe, saw a single target in the entire game, while Cam Akers saw 3 and caught 2 balls for 18 yards. Darrell Henderson was the one that happened to get in the end zone. I do believe he still saw 80% of the red zone snaps. So high value area, he was still the most involved, which is important. But Cam Akers definitely outtouched him by quite a bit. So that's your background info.
That's a tough one. This is a tough one. I got a feeling we're going to disagree, and I'm going to be the wrong one again. But I'm going to go with Cam Akers. I think this team wants him to be the lead running back, and I think that once he is getting up to full speed, or at least we don't know if he's ever going to get back to full speed, but at least once he sort of resembles that older player that he used to be, he's going to have that clear RB1 role in this offense. But until we get to that point, I guess they're just going to keep ramping up his usage more and more. And against Arizona's defense, yeah, I'll go Cam Akers. I'll go Cam Akers against Arizona. Arizona hasn't really looked too sharp throughout this season as well, so I'd imagine both of these guys are going to be pretty successful. But I think Cam Akers is going to get the nod.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's really difficult for me. If you've followed us at all throughout the offseason, I've been a big proponent of Darrell Henderson. I thought he was a great late-round draft pick. And after week one, I was hyped. I thought, I had myself a really cheap RB1, RB2. But I think I'm going to agree with you here. I think that Sean McVay knows Darrell Henderson can't be a bell cow. Mm-hmm. He's tried to give him that workload before, and he can never hold up. He's a little bit undersized. Not that he's injury prone or anything.
He is a little fragile, though, I will say. He's a little fragile.
He's definitely had an injury history, especially when you try to give him a heavier workload. I think Cam Akers, just physically, he's bigger. He's more built for that. And clearly, throughout Sean McVay's career, he's preferred to go with a one-back system. He likes to use a bell cow. I think he's a good coach, and he knows what he has. And if he has to go, running back by committee, I think he can make that work. But I think he still likes Cam Akers. I think he still believes in him, and he's going to give him the opportunity to work his way back into that, number one role. So I'm going to agree with you here. as much as it scares me, and I'm going to go Cam Akers.
Hell yeah.
So we got another running back one with Josh Jacobs going up against Tennessee, or Dameon Pierce going up against the Chicago Bears. Dameon Pierce went from a week 1 dud where he did almost nothing. Rex Burkhead was the clear leader of the backfield to a total swap in week 2. Rex Burkhead barely touched the ball at all. He didn't see a single carry. He got a few targets in the receiving game, but Dameon Pierce, I believe, got 18 carries. He was the clear lead dog in the backfield last week. He didn't get going very much. He didn't do a whole lot with it, not very efficient. But Josh Jacobs also hasn't been super efficient. He's surprisingly gotten the vast majority of the work. I thought it was going to be more of a committee in Vegas than it has been. So this one is pretty tough. Neither of these guys have been super impressive. I think Tennessee's run defense is actually pretty decent. Although game script isn't going to be in their favor, I feel like Las Vegas is probably going to get up on them early and want to run the ball. I'm just talking back and forth between these two guys. I got to make a decision. I'm going to go Dameon Pierce. Clearly, I don't feel super confident about it, but I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. See, because I want to go Josh Jacobs because I feel like this team, the Raiders are going to go up. I feel like he's going to have some red zone opportunity with, them being as good of an offense as they are. I am afraid of Devonta Adams, though, because he does take away a good amount of red zone opportunity as well. And I did like the fact that Dameon Pierce is getting used. And against Chicago. But I'm going to go Josh Jacobs. I do feel like the Raiders are going to kind of run up the score here. Josh Jacobs is going to get his usage in terms of just late game running the ball and churning those out. So I think this will be the first one we disagree on. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs.
I was going to let you toss it to receiver, brother, but
Oh.
I still can't get over your face. You looked up at me, and I was like, oh, my God. He's so old.
My bad, bro. I got it. And then to kick off
All
the
good.
wide receiver spot, we've got Brandon Ayuk against Denver or DK Metcalf against Atlanta. Now, I've been kind of ringing the Brandon Ayuk bell for a while now, and I'm going to continue to do so. I like Brandon Ayuk this year. I like his target share so far this year. I believe week 1 he had like a 33% target share. Week 2 he had a 30% target share. So his usage is there. DK Metcalf, I believe last week his target share was about 20%. And on the Seahawks, that's not super great. It's like, who are you really sharing the ball with? Get it to DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. But Brandon Ayuk, I sort of like his outlook, and I feel like we're going to get more of the Brandon Ayuk that we saw his rookie year just 2 seasons ago. I think a lot of people forget about how efficient and how effective he was as a player when he got the opportunity. I think a lot of people that last year with him being in the doghouse and them taking a step back with that, sort of him taking a step back himself, and I don't think that's the case. I think that now that Jimmy G is in, this team, they should be spreading the ball out and throwing the ball a little bit more efficiently now. It sucks to say that, but yeah, I see Brandon Ayuk sort of getting an uptick going forward.
Yeah, I think we're on the same page here. DK Metcalf is clearly liable to go off at any point. He had a huge, crazy catch way down the field called back from him last week on like a holding penalty that wasn't even on his side of the field. It was unfortunate. But yeah, Atlanta's DBs are actually pretty decent. I think their defense is a little bit underrated this year. Obviously, the Seahawks have been a shit show. Geno Smith, I don't know, not a good quarterback. I definitely believe more in Jimmy G. I believe more in the 49ers. And I think, like you said, Brandon Ayuk is really, really talented. I think he's going to get back into his groove and show people what he's got to offer. So I'm going to take Brandon Ayuk as well.
Hell yeah, brother.
And that will lead us into another wide receiver debate. We got Deontay Johnson going up against Cleveland tonight on Thursday, or Jerry Judy in that same Denver-San Francisco matchup.
Mm-hmm.
This one's interesting. So I think Deontay Johnson so far this season has proven that he's a really elite talent. He's still commanding an incredibly high target share. It's just his quarterback situation is still bad. And the offense doesn't seem to have changed. The play calling doesn't seem to have changed since Ben left. They're still doing a bunch of short dump offs. They're not stretching the field. And it's making it hard for this offense to get rolling, put them in scoring opportunities. It's making it hard for Deontay Johnson to make any big plays. But, he's been fairly consistent with the receptions if we're talking half PPR leagues. Jerry Judy should play in week 3. I think he's questionable with like a sternum or a rib injury or something like that. Had a big week 1, disappeared in week 2, mostly because of the injury. I feel like Judy's got the higher ceiling, and Deontay's got the safer floor. Man, I'm gonna go Deontay.
Okay.
Again, this is really tough for me. Clearly, I was going back and forth. I'm not a big Judy fan, and I think I'm gonna let my bias settle this one. I'm gonna go Deontay Johnson.
No, that's fair. I'm personally gonna go. I'm gonna go Jerry Judy. I think that Deontay Johnson, his usage has been incredible. He's averaging a 30% target share for like the last 2 or 3 seasons, something crazy. But I think that Jerry Judy's, like you said, he has a higher ceiling. If he plays, Jerry Judy should do better than Deontay Johnson, because I got a feeling those Steelers quarterbacks are going to be running for their lives the whole game, no matter who's back there. Like, this Cleveland defense is no joke. Even from a perspective of the secondary for this team is also very good. It's just a good defense all around. And I don't have the QB play rising above that. I know Deontay Johnson, he typically still gets his regardless. Like you said, those quick passes, sort of those dump offs, they can't really take the top off too much. I don't think they'll have time to take the top off this week. So I'm going to go with Jerry Judy on this one.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
You want to lead us into our last wide receiver matchup?
Absolutely. We got DJ Moore or Chris Olave against Carolina. And, something I've been sort of wrestling with the last few weeks, man. We talked a lot in the preseason about DJ Moore and how, his situation should be better. He's got a better quarterback, this and that. And at what point is it? At what point is it DJ Moore?
That's a fair question.
At what point?
That's a fair question.
It's not that I like DJ Moore a lot. I loved him back in college. I liked watching him now. I think he's a great player, but it's for some reason he's just not getting it done. But Chris Olave, I feel like there's a boom coming. Especially if Jameis back there and he gets back to preseason form. I think that Chris Olave could thrive, especially since his target share has skyrocketed since week 1. He went from 10 to 28%, something like that. And then even his air yards were going up something crazy. So I think, especially against Carolina, I think Chris Olave has a chance to have a big game and sort of break out a little bit this week.
Yeah, it seems wild to say after, we just came off a draft season and DJ Moore was going in the top 15 of wide receivers. Chris Olave was probably going outside the, 9th, 10th round or something like that. But I think I'm going to agree with you here. DJ Moore did find his way into the end zone last week, and it still wasn't really all that impressive of a performance. I just don't trust Baker. I don't trust this offense, and they're going up against New Orleans. These guys are going to match up against each other. And New Orleans defense has looked really good. They shut down Tom Brady, even, with limited options. He's light years ahead of Baker Mayfield. So I feel like DJ Moore is going to have not very many opportunities, not the greatest looks. And like you said, Chris Olave, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, or the one that we put out most recently, go back and watch that. I was hyping up Olave. He had 365 air yards in week 2. It's like unheard of. I don't think I've ever heard of an air yard number that high. Unfortunately, most of it was unrealized. Jameis wasn't hitting him on a lot of those deep balls, but I think he's due for a big boom game, and I'm hoping it comes in week 3. We're going to go Chris Olave here.
Hell yeah.
So then we got 3 more of these left, 2 in the flex position. We're going to do running back versus receiver. We got Rashad Penny in a matchup against Atlanta, or Nelson Aguilar in a matchup against Baltimore. So this one's interesting. Rashad Penny has looked terrible. Um, uh, in week one, he actually looked decent. They just didn't have very many opportunities to get him going. I think he went like 12 for 60 against a decent Broncos defense. He didn't get in the end zone. I feel like Atlanta's run defense, maybe I'm underselling them, but I feel like it's not very good. This is going to be their best opportunity all year to be in a positive game script and give Rashad Penny the ball. I think that's probably what they want to do. Kenneth Walker got worked in a little bit last week, but not a ton. Aguilar had a huge week last week. I think he went off for over 20 points. He's going up against a Baltimore defense that just gave up 6 touchdowns to Tua, a ton of points to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill over there in Miami. I'm gonna go Penny just because I feel like if you drafted him, like this is the matchup you've been waiting for. Like this week against Atlanta and next week against Detroit. If you drafted him, like this is when you're hoping he blows up, and this is when I'm hoping he blows up. What do you think, Will?
I'm hoping for a Rashad Penny boom as well, but at the same time, I kind of do like a Nelson Aguilar play against the Ravens. I think this Ravens defense has been severely underperforming this year, especially considering they've got just about everybody back. Nelson Aguilar somehow is one of the best receivers in the league against like man coverage, which is something that the Ravens like to run a lot. Yeah, he's somehow become like one of the better man coverage beaters in the league. And it's sort of weird because Nelson Aguilar has been the butt of a lot of jokes lately. But he's also one of the receivers in this Patriots offense besides Jacoby Myers that I think has an opportunity to be productive. But do I think it's going to be more than Rashad Penny against the Falcons? That's the question. And I think I'm going to go with Nelson Aguilar. I think he's got an opportunity to not do something big, but at least be productive in this Patriots offense while they're figuring things out and sort of Mac Jones is getting more comfortable as the season's going along. I know he dealt with a little bit of injuries after week one, but I don't think that's an issue anymore. I think that's something they've gotten past. So yeah, I think I'm going to give Nelson Aguilar the nod, because I do want to see more from Rashad Penny. Like you said, I think he has an opportunity this week to show me something, but until then, I kind of want to see what Nelson Aguilar has to do.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It was definitely close for me. I'm getting nervous. I feel like this might be your week, man.
You think so?
I think it might be. We got 2 more to go. We'll see if we agree or disagree. I'll take the next flex debate.
Yes, sir. And we've got Devonta Smith against the Commanders or Tony Pollard against the Giants. Tony Pollard's usage has been weird. He's somebody that we all sort of thought was going to be one of the guys, especially in this Dallas offense, especially with them missing weapons, which last week he did get a little bit more usage, but still not anything great. Devonta Smith did see a pretty big uptick as well, considering week one he didn't really do shit. Last week he was, a player in this offense. But against Washington, how do you even... game scripts are big when it comes into stuff like this, and I don't see how this game is going to go because I feel like the Eagles are going to blow out Washington. But it's a divisional game, and I also feel like divisional games always get weird, and both of these are divisional games, so it's weird. I'm going to go Devonta Smith. I feel like this Washington Eagles game might be better than people think. I think Washington does sort of bounce back, and it does turn into a bit of a shootout. So I'm going to go Devonta Smith.
All right. I like it. To your point when describing both of these guys, both huge week one duds. Devonta Smith literally didn't have a catch. He had 0 points. And Tony Pollard looked really bad. He was inefficient when he touched the ball. He was out-touched by Zeke. And he had some really, really bad plays in pass protection. I was surprised that they got him as involved in week 2 as they did after such a bad week 1 performance. But he bounced back in a pretty big way. He didn't out-carry Zeke. Zeke had 15 carries for 53 yards. Tony Pollard was way more efficient, going 9 for 43 and a touchdown. He was also fairly involved in the receiving game with 7 targets, 4 receptions, and 55 yards. Devontae also had a huge bounce-back week. I believe he had, 9 targets, 7 receptions for 80 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants' run defense is better than a lot of people give it credit for. That's also, again, a divisional matchup within the same division. The Giants are at home. I think the Cowboys are going to struggle a little bit. I don't think Tony Pollard's going to get it going. And I'm not. It's hard for me to bet that Washington is going to keep up with Philly after how good that they looked.
Mm-hmm.
But Carson Wentz has found a way to air it out and keep them in games, even if it doesn't look pretty. So I'm going to agree with you here. I'm going to go with Devonta Smith versus Washington.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
that leads us into our final matchup here. I'm making this a new segment. Hopefully, this segment only lasts 1 week. I don't want it to go any further than this. But the new segment is called Kyle Pitts or Random Waiver Wire Tight End.
Oh shit.
So let's play this game, huh, Will?
Okay, I'm with it.
We got Kyle Pitts
Uh-huh.
versus Seattle. Should always be Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm saying the name, but or Tyler Conklin versus Cincinnati.
This raises the age-old question that Rick and Morty posed with man versus car. You know, wouldn't the car just win every time? But
It should.
it hasn't been the case with fantasy football, and I'm going Tyler Conklin for week 3.
Oh man.
Tyler Conklin's usage has been on another level compared to Kyle Pitts so far this
It really
season.
has. It really has.
And as long as Arthur Smith is the coach for the Falcons, it's tough for me to bet on Kyle Pitts right now. Or at least as long as they're calling plays for Kyle Pitts the way that they are. And it's like every time they line him up to receive, he's always on the outside. And it's like, oh, well, we're not throwing him the ball because he's double covered by corners. And it's like, yeah, shithead, line him up as a tight end like every other team lines their tight end up. Travis Kelce's not getting covered by corners, and he's the number 1 on that team. It's like, come on, guys. But
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers for that the other day. The percentages are like, I want to say Travis Kelce is getting covered by a corner 15% of the time. Mark Andrews is getting covered by a corner 17% of the time. Justin Jefferson is getting covered by corners 50% of the time. Or no, sorry, 53% of the time. Kyle Pitts, 50%. Like, how are we this inept?
yeah, how are y'all putting him in the worst positions? And it's like, I saw a lot of discourse on Twitter and people saying, oh, well, you know, he's just the best player on that team. So it's like, yeah, you got to double cover him. It's like, yeah, I get that. But Drake London has a 48% target share. Other teams aren't stupid. They're not idiots. You know, if you're not using Kyle Pitts, they're not going to cover him. But you're lining him up in spots where he's going to get covered by corners. So, yeah, he's going to get covered by corners. But, hey, who am I?
I don't know, man. This is so hard. Conklin has gotten, like you said, some pretty crazy usage. I think he had, 9 and 7 targets in week 1 and week 2.
Yep.
The yardage totals haven't been impressive, but he got in the end zone for one of those weeks. He's far and away outperformed Kyle Pitts so far this season. Joe Flacco is still in at quarterback for the Jets, which I think benefits all of the pass catchers, to be honest with you. Oh, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna be the dummy.
Okay.
I'm gonna lose. Kyle Pitts is gonna let me down, but I'm going down with the ship, at least this week.
I want you to
We'll
know
see what happens.
this is one I hope you got right. I pray you got this one right.
Please, please, fantasy gods, please, Arthur Smith, all things that are holy, please let Kyle Pitts just be who he is. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good. He deserves it.
I'm hoping at the very least I go 3-1. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd
I'd take that.
I need Kyle Pitts to do Kyle Pitts things, and they're not putting him in spots to do it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. I'm excited now that this episode's over because I'll be able to see soon.
Gotta go get cataract surgery or something, bro.
Bro, I need something, man. Everything's don't work the way they used to. But thank you guys so much for checking this out. Check out some of our other videos too. Our week 2 recap. I should have the 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. slate of games coming out soon for shorts. That's if this video comes out before that comes out, which I highly doubt. Actually, yeah, I don't know why I said that. This video should be coming out after that. But either way, check out our shorts. We got shorts that are going to be recapping all the games. Yeah. Subscribe, like.
Old man's forgetting what's going on. He lost his train of thought. Yeah, so we appreciate everybody for sticking with us for this long. Please give us a like, just because Will is wearing that mask. That can't be comfortable. He can't see anything. He can't do... I don't even know. Give us a like. That deserves it. Comment. Give us your start sits so we can help you out even better than we did during this video. We love you for sticking around. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.